What's good, everybody? I hope all y'all had a good weekend. Thank you guys for listening to episode 9 of Tune Check. So, just like every other episode, we're going to get right into the news. This week, we have a few things that came up, nothing too crazy. So, first, we're going to start off with some news related to Drake. He announced that him and P&D, Party Next Door, are going to come out with a collab album in the fall. This was announced at one of P&D's tour stops in Toronto. P&D is currently on tour because he released his album. I think it's pretty exciting. I think they make great music together. They've had like so many fire tracks. This is a great way for Drake to just release new music, after the beef and all. Regardless, he's still going to be like Drake. Drake is still Drake. Kendrick's still Kendrick. I think this is very exciting. I know he said he was going to take a break, but I feel like his beef with Kendrick inspired him to just make more music. Like I said, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be fire. I think it's gonna be a great collab. I think they're dropping it at the right time too, around the fall season. Summer's already over. I feel like even if it dropped like a little earlier, it probably would have been slept on a little because of the fact that Not Like Us is still out there and everything. But I think it's gonna do well. It's Drake and P&D. He's a great artist too. And then in other news related to Drake, this actually also involves Lil Yachty as well. I mentioned this either on the last episode or the episode before that one. Lil Yachty, he had leaked his song with Drake called Super Soaker. Kai Cenat was on the internet. He played it for everybody. And it samples a Mr. Hotspot song. He didn't clear the sample, which is why Lil Yachty leaked it. And then Mr. Hotspot went on the internet like a few days ago, saying that he was religious now. That's why he didn't want to, release the sample or prove it. And then he also said that he would clear the sample and that he made a clean reference track for them to use, because kids listen to music. And I understand that completely. He wants it to be clean. He doesn't want no profanity in it. And it makes sense because there are a lot of kids nowadays that do listen to music that we listen to. And they say like all the curse words and everything, like verse for verse, bar for bar. And it's crazy. Like they'd be like 2 or 5, like out here just saying all this crazy shit. And I'm just like, damn, like who the fuck put you onto this song? That's wild. But I definitely understand that. And I like that Mr. Hotspot is standing on his business. But I definitely understand that. And I like that Mr. Hotspot standing on his business. Doing what's right to him as an artist. It makes sense. I'm not even gonna be mad at that. Then later on this week, Drake also released a bunch of content. So he gave everyone his new IG page. He was just posting up stuff, videos of him in studios. He posted up 3 new songs as well. So this is all called 100 gigs for your head top. It's a website as well. So you could go on the website and it has all of these videos of him like making music, him in the studio, him making like songs for albums that he's released before, alternate art covers for Her Loss, alternate art covers for All the Dogs, images for like his new plane. And as I said earlier, he released 3 new songs. The first one is called It's Up featuring 21 Savage and Young Thug, which is fire. Drake went off. 21 Savage completely killed it. I thought that shit was dope as hell. Then the next song is Housekeeping featuring Lotto, which is fire too. Lotto's been doing her thing, especially with her album coming out. I thought it was fire. We're gonna get into that in a few minutes. Then the last song is Blue Green Red. So if you want to check it out, you could go on the IG page. I think it's called Plot Twist. I'm not really too sure. Or you could just go to the website, 100 tunes for your head top. You could download the singles there. I know he just released them on streaming services like a few days ago. Next, we got news revolving Metro Boomin. Shout out to Metro Boomin. He's really doing his thing out here. So he's giving out $20,000 grants to single mothers at every stop at his shows. He's currently on tour with Future. He's doing it to honor his late mother. I think that's dope. I think that's amazing. Rest in peace to his mom. We all know that Metro loved his mom. We all love our mom. So I think this is really nice and just really helpful for him to do because, single mothers go through a lot. So shout out to him for doing this. And then aside from that, speaking about Future, he's been teasing his new music. He's been on social media and teasing Mixtape Pluto. He recently just posted up Mixtape Pluto loading. He's been doing this for like a minute now, and I'm just like, bro, like when are you gonna drop? And I'm gonna be mad as hell if he drops it, and it's gonna be so trash. Like we just gotta keep waiting. So hopefully it drops soon, but it is what it is. Next we got Eminem. So earlier this week, his new album, The Death of Slim Shady, which I reviewed on my previous episode. So go listen to that. The album has sold over 500K units and is officially eligible for RIAA Gold certification. I think that's dope. Shout out to Eminem. He's, always been doing his thing. He's a GOAT. He's a legend. Everybody loves Eminem. I don't care what nobody says. He's still doing numbers. And if you haven't heard the album, go and listen to it. The album is fire. And that's all I got for the news for today. Next, we're gonna get into our singles. And honestly, this is gonna be quick. It's only three singles, really. Like, there's been a lot of albums that dropped this Friday that just passed. And there were a few singles too, but in all honesty, really only like just these three. Everything else is kind of trash. So the first one I want to talk about is Machiavelli Good. He released a song called Pinky Ring. I enjoyed this song. I like the beat. It's like a eerie kind of trap beat, and I feel like he flowed on this really good. Like his delivery was amazing. But I definitely did like the beat though. Like the beat was very fire. It was different to me. It was very dark and moody, but I thought it was fire. Machiavelli God's been doing his thing recently, and I feel like this is just another example of how great of an artist he's going to become and is. And then the second single that I wanted to talk about is from Trippie Redd. He finally released LGLG, Let's Get It, Let's Go. This was supposed to drop like 3 weeks ago, I think. I guess it's just been pushed back, but I'm happy that it's out now. I love the beat. I love the aggressiveness he has on this song. I think the production is fire. He definitely redeemed himself after releasing that whack project with MGK. That shit was trash. I don't know what the fuck he thought. He went back to his like trap style of rapping, which I thought was great. It fit the song perfectly well. I'm hoping he keeps his momentum going because I wouldn't mind another Trippie Redd project. Like what he released last year was fire. So I don't know what happened with the MGK one, but we're not even gonna talk about that shit no more for real. But shout out to Trippie Redd, and hopefully he comes back with like a real good project soon. And then last we got Lil Tecca. Lil Tecca released Taste. I love this song. I thought this was the best single to come out on the Friday that just passed. I've been listening to it all weekend. It's fire. Lil Tecca's been doing great, especially on his last album that dropped last year. It was amazing. I thought it was fire. I loved everything about it. The production on this single is fire. His vocals are dope as hell. His vocals on this song are amazing. He uses like these similar vocals that Yeet does, but Tekka did it so much better and it works so much better for him. The hook is catchy as fuck as well. Like this song, he's just really talking about all the girls that he got. Tekka also said that this was his fave track to make. And as you're listening, towards the end of the song, it feels like the song is transitioning to something. So I feel like he might have a project coming out or maybe a single that goes into this one. But regardless of what it is, I'm excited. I definitely don't mind another thing. I definitely don't mind another project from Lil Tecca. I think he's a dope ass artist. So I'm looking forward to whatever he's going to release. So go listen to that. Go listen to every other single I mentioned too. They're all fire. And now we're going to get into our album reviews. So honestly, I'm going to start with the bad albums, the ones that I didn't really like. So the first one I'm going to start with, this is gonna be short. The first one I'm gonna start with is from Southside. He dropped his album Break the Silence, 16 songs, 33 minutes, no features on it. This album was fucking trash. Like I don't know what the fuck he thought or what he wanted to release, but it was so bad. There's no consistency. Like it's a very repetitive album. Like he has some bars here and there, but it wasn't really nothing like to talk about or nothing that stood out like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the transitions were bad too, and like he's a producer, so that's just very like bad. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a bad look. This is his first album in 4 years, and to be honest, like I was like just confused, and I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? Like this was very bad, and it was just so trash, and I'm just like, damn, like you could have done so much better, bro. Like I don't know what happened there, but he should have just kept this and just done something else. But if y'all want to listen to it, go ahead. Again, this is just my opinion, but I thought it was bad. I didn't really like it too much. Go check it out for yourselves and let me know if you feel differently. Maybe I got to give this another shot. After like the first three listens, I wasn't really feeling it still, so I don't know. And then next we got Chloe, Trouble in Paradise. This is an R&B album. 16 songs, 49 minutes. The features on this album are from Ty Dolla Sign, Anderson .Paak, YG Marley, Halle, and Jeremiah. I think Ty Dolla Sign was the best feature on this album. He's been doing his thing recently, and he's always been good on features. He just dropped Vultures 2 with Kanye. We're going to get into that in a bit. As far as my favorite songs on this album, they are Might As Well, Shake, and Same Lingerie. Chloe had said in an interview that this album is about her writing her troubles away in paradise. So she wanted it to be fun as well. On this album, she like gets personal and you hear more about herself as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like she talks about a lot of stuff, and I think that's pretty cool. Aside from the songs about love, heartbreak, and sex, she has tracks that make you want to dance. For example, like Shake and Strawberry Lemonade. Chloe can sing her ass off. She has a phenomenal voice, and we all know that. It's great. But even though this album has a theme, it's lacking in structure. It doesn't feel consistent. And I feel like at times she just tried too hard to make something sound the way she wanted it to sound, and it just doesn't sound organic. There's a lot of tracks similar to the R&B songs we have now, like the mainstream ones, similar topics, very played out, the copy and paste kind of stuff. Even some of her lyrics, they did get boring after a while. It kind of sounds like In Pieces, and In Pieces was honestly not the best debut album, especially for her. That wasn't really her strongest effort. But for a sophomore album, I kind of expected all of those, mistakes that she made on the first one to be fixed and to just sound better cohesively on the second one. And I was also hoping she would show more of her artistic side. So I kind of feel like she's struggling a little bit with that. But let me know if you guys think differently or if you guys feel the same way. I feel like she has the potential to be like a bigger artist. Something's hindering her, and I don't know exactly what it is. I don't think we all know what it is, but hopefully she figures out what it is and, could work with that or through that and drop an album that's great overall. But we'll see. I'm still excited for her to drop whenever she drops. As I said, she has a great voice. She's very talented, so I'm pretty sure it'll work out for her soon. And then next we got Polo G, Hood Poet, 18 songs, 50 minutes. The features are G Herbo, 42 Doug, Friday, Offset, Lil Durk, The Kid Laroi, Huncho, Glorilla, and Future. Honestly, like this is another bad album. I know I said I was gonna speak about the bad albums at first, or the ones that I didn't like. This was trash. Like I have no favorite songs on this. Like this whole thing was just super repetitive, and I just didn't like the album at all. I don't think I'm gonna change my mind on this one. I've played it like 4 times, and I'm just like, nah, this isn't really giving me like anything. It's not delivering what it was supposed to. Given there are some catchy songs, but I'm not about to gas this up or, say that it was good. It was boring. It was whack. There was really nothing to talk about on this, and that's very disappointing. So many albums came out this past Friday, and a lot of them weren't really that good. And then next, we're going to talk about Logic. He released his album Ultra 85, 20 songs, an hour and 17 minutes long. The features are T Man the Wizard, DJ Drama, Robert Ivory, ADE, Lucy Rose, and Z Loopers. Fave songs on this is Mission Control, Deja Vu, Fear, Gardens 3, Interstellar, and Antidote. As I was listening to this, I kind of felt like it was following the theme of The Incredible True Story, which is my favorite album by Logic. Logic's always going to deliver with his production. His production's always been great, it's always been top tier. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy his music so much and why I like him as an artist, because his production definitely stands out above everyone else's. Logic's always had great bars, he's always been a good lyricist. But this album to me was just a little disappointing because he touches on a lot of topics that he's already spoken about in the past, like about him being biracial, for example. Like we heard that so many times, and I'm just like, bro, like just change it up. I get it, but like it's just always the same topic, and he's always saying the same thing. And like I said, it's just very repetitive, and that was just one example. I did like the samples he used on this album. I thought they were fire. Like my favorite one was on Mission Control. He sampled Gucci Mane's Lemonade, and I like how he switched it up. He pretty much just slowed it down a little bit. Some of his verses and his bars did remind me of his earlier work, like from his Young Sinatra mixtapes and everything to like his debut album. But it's just that I already heard him say a lot of this stuff in his previous albums and mixtapes that it's just like, very repetitive. And it's kind of like how I would say Eminem said, I'm going to have to start repeating the same things because I ran out of stuff to say. I feel like it's too early in Logic's career for that to happen. After like track 10, I kind of wanted to just stop listening because I'm like, damn, like I don't want to really keep hearing all of this because it's really the same thing. But I pushed through it, and I feel like this is just way too long, and it could have been shorter, maybe like 10, 11 tracks. Overall, it wasn't as consistent as I thought it was. And like I said, his last good album, in my opinion, was The Incredible True Story. That's my favorite, and I stand by that. But this was a little disappointing. I know there's a lot of people that really enjoyed it, which is great for them. You know, I'm happy you guys loved it and liked it. If you guys feel differently, just let me know. I don't mind checking it out again. I'll try to check it out again. I heard it like twice, and I was like, nah, I don't think I'd go for a third, but maybe my mind will change on my third listen, but we'll see what happens. All right, and then next we got Vultures 2 from Ye and Ty Dolla Sign, 16 songs, 51 minutes. The features are Chicago and Northwest. You know, he featured his kids. I love it. I think that's dope. We got Playboy Cardi, we got Kodak Black, Don Toliver, Lil Wayne, Future, Lil Baby, Charlie Wilson, the Inter Milan Ultras, Lil Durk, 070 Shake, C the Prince, Designer, and Todd Rundgren. I don't even know how to say that, but my bad. My fave songs on this are Slide, Filter, Promotion, Lifestyle, Young Thug, and Dead. My favorite songs on this are Slide, Field Trip, Promotion, Lifestyle, and Dead. This was another album that like disappointed me a little bit. You know, I prefer Volume 1 over this any day, any year, any time. Volume 1 was perfect. I thought that was dope as hell. Like, feel as though there was a lot of misses on this album and a lot of tracks he kind of just piggyback off from the first volume. You know, for example, Fried. It sounds like he wanted to make like another Carnival, which I thought was weird because Carnival is unique and it stands out and it's one of the best songs of the year. And for him to try to replicate that, I kind of found like it was just a reach and just like it was a stretch. Like he shouldn't have done that. And then you have tracks like Husband, Lifestyle, and Promotion. You know, he's talking about his family and he's talking about being a husband. You could tell he's always loved his family. Everybody knows that. He's always loved Kim, like genuine love for her. And I think when he talks about Kim on these tracks, it's just for the tracks. I honestly think now that he has a new wife, he's happier. You know, this was a theme on the last album as well, where he talked about Kim. I think it's called Keys to My Life. That's the track. There's also a few other tracks where he talks about his kids on Volume 1, 2. Then the song 530 on this album. It gave me older Kanye vibes, just like how Burn did in part 1. This still doesn't feel like a genuine collab album, though. In my opinion, I still think it's Kanye West featuring Ty Dolla Sign. You know what I'm saying? Just like how Drake and 21 Savage had Her Loss, and it felt like Drake was featuring 21 Savage on that album, because 21 Savage didn't really say much, but this is how I feel like Kanye went about that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he actually did it like that because, you know, they've always been rivals. They've just been going, you know, at each other and just doing whatever the fuck each other's been doing, to be honest. I had like a theory a few months ago where I said, oh, you know, part one is more Kanye, then part two would be more Ty, then part three, they would actually do a real collab album and fusion their sounds. But like I said, it's really just Kanye West featuring Ty Dolla Sign. And Ty Dolla Sign is literally the best thing coming out of these collabs. Like he's been killing it on his verses. Like every song that he's on, he gives it like 110%, and he's just been doing his thing, and it's fire. It's still a good album, but I don't believe that it's better than the first. I feel like maybe they should have worked on it a little bit more instead of just rushing it, and it probably would have helped it succeed a little bit more. You know, he's always making his weight anyway, so it would have been fine. Nobody really expected this to drop when it did. So if he would have taken a little while longer, it's all right. He already got us complaining about it because we had to wait so long. So you might as well just make us wait whatever the fuck you was gonna make us wait in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye had like a lot of hit or miss verses and bars. At times I was just like, what are you talking about? You know, like it didn't make no sense to me. This album started off Drake with Slide, but then the next track, Time Moving Slow, was pretty much a little letdown. It picked back up with Field Trip, you know, but throughout the whole thing, the track listing wasn't really consistent. They were like fire songs and terrible songs, and a fire song, then a good song, then a fire song, then a bad song. There really aren't any new themes on this album. It's literally just piggybacking off the first one. I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be three parts to it, maybe reinvent it each time, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like that's one of the issues with Kanye. Like, he makes you anticipate so much that the level of anticipation rises all the way up. And then when he finally drops whatever he's going to drop, you listen to it and you're just like, that's what I've been waiting for. Like, that's always happening with him, in my opinion. And I've seen other people talk about it too, but it's just like what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like don't gas it up so much just to like meet us halfway, you know what I mean? Like it's whack. Vultures 1 has so much more consistency in regards to track listing and from Kanye as well, like his verses. There were a lot of more emotional topics that made sense and were so cohesive. And I feel like this did not meet the level of anticipation we all had, and it just didn't really do anything good for the Vultures series. So I'm hoping number 3 is pretty good, but we'll see what happens, you know? Alright, so aside from all these terrible albums, I'm gonna start getting into the fire ones. And first, I want to talk about, aside from all the bad projects and not so bad projects that I was just talking about, I'm gonna start getting into the real good ones. So the first one I really want to talk about is from Ombre. It's an EP. It's R&B. I do this shit in my sleep. That's the title. 6 songs, 15 minutes. The features here are Alex, Isley, and Treaty. I loved every song on this. I thought this entire EP was dope as hell. The way like she goes about herself and the way she sings and some of the beats that she sang over, it kind of reminded me of her at times, and I thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like her is a great artist, and this had some of her vibes on it. So honestly, I could see them making a song together and it being really dope. I love how she sings on this. I think she has like a really nice, soft, airy voice. I love how she flows on every track, on every song. I love her verses. I love her delivery. I love the confidence she has when she's singing. I think it's dope as fuck. Her beats and the production on this EP were so good. And I was blown away. I'm like, damn, like this is a really good project. Like this is a really good EP that just came out for R&B. And that's dope as hell. The harmonies, her background vocals, they were all just so good. And she placed them at like these perfect times on every song, and it was great. So you could tell she cares about, you know, her craft and her artistry as well. So I'm excited to see what else she's gonna release. I'm excited for any next single, any new album. So go listen to this, go run it up because this EP was fire. It was great. So do yourself a favor, please. The next, we're gonna go back to rap. Benny the Butcher and the Black Soprano family, they released Summertime Butch. 10 songs, 25 minutes. The features are Ray Moon, Ed Lover, Harry Fraud, Amber Simone, Rick Hyde, El Camino, Fuego Bass, and Lindsay Nix. This whole thing was dope. I thought it was fire. You know, Benny, he's always gonna come with bars, with verses, straight heat, always gonna deliver. He's gonna do what he does best, and that is just rap his ass off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know he dropped his album earlier this year, and that was fire. Like, that's gonna be in my top 10 for sure, like, without a doubt, because Benny delivered on that. And he always delivers, always. This album, he sounded so hungry, like he wanted more, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just like Lil Wayne said, you know, feed me beats. This is pretty much what Benny was saying, you know? And the beats that he was rapping over, it definitely helped complement his style of rap, you know, his artistry and everything. Like his flows and everything, they were perfectly blended together. Like he did everything how it was expected to be done. And he's always gonna have these top tier verses, bro. Like his confidence on this project is just dope as hell. Like he's really out here just getting it. I hate that it's just so short. I wish it was fucking longer because I wanted more. Like, if he's gonna release a part two or I don't know, but he needs to do like a deluxe or something because this shit was hard. I've been listening to it nonstop. It's fire. And then next, we got another rap album from Larry June. It's called Doing It For Me. 15 songs, 38 minutes. There's no features on this album, which is surprising because he's usually releasing albums, you know, with features and some collabs. So this was dope as hell. You know, he's showing you that he could do it all himself. Fave songs on this are Morning Calculations, Magnum PI, Breakfast in a Gold Casket, and Like a Mac. This album was dope. You know, he's rapping over West Coast beats. He has some funk elements on this album as well, you know, some R&B elements too. From beginning to end, the listening experience on this album was great. You know, it's very laid back and chill. You know, considering the fact that he raps about being, you know, self-determined and has some songs about, you know, self wellness. Like you could listen to this album while you're doing anything, you know, like driving, doing something in the crib, or just chilling, walking somewhere, you know, whatever it is that you like doing. You could play this in the background and you just be chilling for real. This is literally a summertime album, and I wished it released earlier in the summer, not too late. But I thought it was great. This is gonna be on repeat for me. I love this album. He was able to get his point across, and he does it like so effortlessly. I love the storytelling here as well. His verses are amazing. And I think this is his best project to date, to be honest, in my opinion. Go listen to this album. And then last but not least, we got Lotto. She dropped her album Sugar Honey Iced Tea. 21 songs, an hour and 21 minutes long. The features are Young Nudie, Huncho, Coco Jones, Megan Thee Stallion, Ciara, Mariah the Scientist, Tizo Touchdown, Cardi B, and Flo Milli. My fave songs on this album is Georgia Peach, Big Mama, Blixum, Settle Down, Shrimp and Grits, Brokey, Copper Cove, Ear Candy, and Liquor. I love this album. I thought it was great. Her rapping here is great, and she's honestly only just getting better. I love the background harmonies on certain songs, her flow, and how she's just able to switch it up, mid song. I thought that was dope as hell. She's talking her shit to her haters, flexing her skills over these fire ass beats. She's opening up to her fans as well, or any listeners to the album. And I love how even the singles that she released for this album, they're just so consistent to the theme that she wanted. I thought that was dope as fuck. Like she placed them perfectly. Release singles are usually just to promote the album or just for like fan engagement, just to please the fans with whatever sound, but these are consistent to her album. As I said, I thought her rap singing on this album was fire. Her flows and just how she presents herself as like, an artist on here is dope. An example of this is Settle Down and Shout Out to Me, where she basically just talks about her being a boss and just doing what she needs to do for herself and how she doesn't need anybody. She also has some bars for Ice Spice because Ice Spice is out here trying to beef with Lotto, thinking she's gonna win, but she not. So Lotto set the record straight and just pretty much addressed whatever she needed to address and kept it moving as she should because at the end of the day, Ice Spice, she's a trash artist. I don't really know what's the reason why everybody likes her, but that's just my opinion. But she's not gonna win this beef. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not about to win this whole rap battle with Lotto. Lotto about to destroy her. This album had like some really fire transitions. I think the best transition was between Settle Down to Shrimp and Grits. And then Copper Cove to Ear Candy, I thought that was so flawless and it was just executed so good. Speaking about Ear Candy, I think the best feature on this album was Coco Jones. She's featured on the song. She did her thing. She sounds so good. The hook that she made for this song was fire, and her voice just blends so perfectly with this beat, and it's great. Coco Jones is a fire artist. If y'all haven't listened to any of her music recently, go check it out. She's doing really good R&B wise. She's doing really good with R&B music right now, and she's definitely gonna get bigger. So go listen to her. Shout out to Coco Jones for real. Lotto was also singing out her song Copper Cove, which features Huncho. I thought it was fire, and I didn't expect it. And I didn't even know she could sing, to be honest. Like, I was caught off guard. I feel like I heard it a few times, but nah, she was really going off. There's also some pop anthems like Good to You, which features Ciara, which has been, making a lot of buzz for her on social media. Everybody's so gassed that she's on it, that she picked the right feature for it. And Ciara's a goat, so she samples Outkast Hey Yeah on it. And then another pop anthem is Squeeze, which features Megan Thee Stallion. I feel like Megan should have had a longer verse on it. It kind of felt a little rushed, but overall the song is cool. But it would have sounded better if she had a longer verse, because Megan's been doing her thing too. But as I said earlier, overall I thought this album was fire. This is a solid album, and I think it's probably gonna be one of the best of the year. And this is probably my fave Lotto album to date, to be honest, because she definitely delivered with this. She gave what she needed to give. So shout out to Lotto. Shout out to all these artists that dropped great projects this weekend. And that's it for the episode. Thank you guys for listening. As I said before, follow me on all socials at TuneCheck. I'm on streaming services as well. Go listen to all my other episodes. Go listen to all these albums that I'm talking about. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for listening. And tune into the next episode. And I hope you guys have a great week. Peace.